Here I am. Sorry about that. Okay, we're live with Clearing Clutter by Summer. Oh my goodness, who said yes to that? So many hands raised for being clear of clutter and overwhelm in a short amount of time. Welcome, Mary. Thanks for joining. Comment below if you're new or say hi if you're excited to clear clutter by summer, before summer even. Oh my goodness. I'm really, really excited about this topic. And I'm so excited that so many people are excited too. Hi, Amy. Welcome. Oh, and I'm so happy for your comments. And my internet on my computer is not working. So I don't have access to those, but I'll try to remember what people said and bring that into the conversation today. So yay, welcome. And if you don't know me, I am Christine O'Brien, the founder and owner of Creating Calm Coach, and I help families have harmony at home by strengthening relationships and clearing clutter. And I was so excited to see yesterday that, I don't remember the name of the person, but the very first comment on what's possible when you clear the clutter was someone saying just that their relationship with their partner, their husband, would be improved. There'd be, oh, from the UK, hi Susie. We have a client from Ireland, so yay. Yes, so that relationship piece of what's possible when you clear the clutter is so powerful. And really the reason why I do this is like strengthening relationships is everything, right? And it starts with that strengthening your relationship with yourself, and that the clutter that we see around us, and how I wanted to say why the inspiration for this conversation came from my own personally. I just almost a month into a move to a new home, and I was reading an article about how it's like, oh, it should take about 2 weeks to unpack and do your new home. And so that was my goal. I was like, oh, okay, 2 weeks, let's see how that goes. And I would say it was pretty well. It's like those first week. So the first week it was like, okay, get everything in place, like all the things in the kitchen, and they're all unpacked, but they're not like in their final destination. But it can go really quickly. And so then I'm looking at the calendar for my next program, and was like, oh wow, we could have this done before summer, and how amazing would that be to like have that time that becomes available, and that new perspective, and being able to connect with your family and your kids. That was definitely, I saw that theme in the comments as well, about just being present and being able to relax and be in the moment and not be depressed. And what were the things that people say? Not having anxiety, not yelling at your kids so much, like all the things that clutter. So when you see the clutter around you, it's just like stressful, and you feel bad about yourself, like, oh, I haven't gotten to that. That article said it's like 2 weeks, I should be done. And it's like, no, it's not done yet. And so then making that means like that you're, what I hear often is like a failure, or really, really challenging feelings about yourself when you see the clutter. Besides the fact that just when you see things around it, cortisol is released. So there is like a real thing. And so then you are bickering with your husband, or you're like yelling at your kids, or you're just feeling agitated. And so then relationships are, oh, North Carolina, yay. Hi, Sherry. Yay, thanks for saying hi. So the effects of clutter, and oh, hi, Kelly. Let's see. I love the comments, and then I get off track, if you've noticed. All right, so I was just talking about the effects of it. So the problem is like the piles, and then it feels stressful, so then you want to put it off, and you'll do it later. You procrastinate, like we've talked about last week and the week before, and want it to be perfect, and so I'm not going to do anything yet, and like put it off. But then either there's like hi from Orlando. Yeah. Susie saying, can't wait to move forward with the clutter and actually live my life. Yeah. I mean, it's literally stealing the joy and taking our lives away when we have this this to-do thing that we're avoiding, And the avoidance, so either sometimes people avoid and they go out of the house as much as they can and they're just like away from it, or they're like constantly feeling like guilty and like there's this heavy weight. I mean, maybe in both cases, like that you can't go out of the house until this is taken care of. And then it's like somehow moving the piles around and you're like constantly dealing with stuff. So it's like this hamster wheel, and then you're not enjoying life, you're not in the moment, and you're like, oh, like, why isn't anyone helping me? And like just in this mood that pushes people away and makes you feel bad about yourself. And so it's like, who was saying, just having your life, like getting your life back by having the capability, the confidence to actually do. I mean, so many people raise their hand like, yes, I want to clear the clutter. And so I want to clarify something, because then there's those people that are, you know, like 300 people like, yes, 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 like this is awesome, I want to do this. And then there's people that showed up here today, and then people that are watching the replay. Yeah, comment if you're watching the replay too later. And so then there's this next level of commitment of like, what is this person going to say? Like, is that possible? I wonder, like, is she, like, what crazy idea does she have that's going to really change my life? And so then there's people that show up to it. And then it's just this level, there's this distinction between wanting something like, yes, like clear clutter by summer, I want that. And then deciding to have it. And so if you still have the clutter, you haven't decided to do what it takes to clear it. And there's such an important differentiation between wanting something and actually doing it. So Kimberly's saying, for me, it's not knowing where to begin. And easily overwhelmed. And that's like, there's so many blocks. There's definitely a lot of blocks, and overwhelm is a huge block to it, where you're like, okay, this pile, and then like move it around, and then it's like not completed. It's like, and then you're like the next thing, like, and then it's like overwhelm. And so overwhelm can get you into avoidance or shutting down, and just like going online and scrolling, or what are the things people do? Sometimes it's drinking or eating, or just all the coping mechanisms, or some people call them buffers, or yeah, easily getting overwhelmed. So yeah, so that's definitely like it's like overwhelm, clutter kind of trap. That's the hamster wheel, right? It's like, oh, there's clutter, it makes me feel really bad, and then I want to deal with it, and it's like, and maybe like so many people that are like, yeah, I did this online program, or I've read this book, or I've gone to therapy, and my therapist like, read this book, and so there's been a lot of effort. And so then you have this like challenge, the vicious cycle, like Kimberly's saying. Yeah. And then Shirley's getting into like a specific like question about creating a filing system. So definitely paperwork is a challenge in this. Today I'm not going to talk about specific like paper, like I'm not going to go through the categories, and Amy's helping with that. So Amy's answering that. So yeah, so what I want to just do an overview, and I want to help you see that it is like so quick that you can transform, and so quick you can get out of that cycle. And so when I get towards the end, I'll talk more about that. So I want to go through, I have an idea in my mind, I have my notes. I'll get back on track here. But I love your comments, and I appreciate that people are like feeling this, because it is really, really important, and it is, our whole life is dependent on like how we feel, how our home environment is, how we're raising our kids, that kind of thing. Okay, so that sense of being in the moment, just like having a breath and being really present now and enjoying just this time that we have. And it's mostly, I work with moms, not all of the people I work with are moms, but to be able to just like slow down and be in the moment with our children is so precious. And we know like time is fleeting, and then they're getting older and they're less wanting to be around us. And then if we've been like yelling at them a lot, then then there's damage to the relationship. And then it's like, are they going to want to come back and visit? And are we going to have harmony in the home? And it's definitely possible. And so I'm going to talk about the next part about, actually, what happened for me recently. And I think I wasn't going to do it this way, but anyways, so I'm going to go to the middle and then whatever. I'm changing up my mind. But okay, so we moved to the new house and we got a new bed, and it was just on the floor. We didn't have the bed frame yet. And so we were sleeping on that for like 3 weeks, and last night we put the new bed together, and it just raised us like 8 inches, 10 inches, and then the whole view changed. Like when you're lying in bed and looking out the window, it's a completely different view, and I noticed that. And the other day I was doing an interview with a client who's finished the program, the 8 weeks, and she was saying how what happened for her was that every perspective changed. Like she started to see across the street, her neighbor has like some decoration on the house that she'd never seen before in the 10 years that she'd lived there. And so and she was saying like, what's the magic that you bring to this? Because what you need is pretty simple, like having your vision. And so that's like what people were saying, like what happens when you've cleared the clutter and what's possible then. And so being more connected with your family, being more present in the moment, being more relaxed, being more at peace. What are all the things that you said? Just like not yelling at your kids, having fun with them, and that kind of thing. Like that kind of thing, which is everything of life. Like having joy in your life and being present and having that possibility. And so having that vision that's going to drive you, and then an individual plan. And so knowing what exactly you need to do and when, and then having the accountability and a guide to actually get those things done. Like, okay, yes, I want to have clear clutter by a certain time. Okay, yes, I'm going to learn what the things are that I need to do. And then, yes, I'm going to be so committed to do what it takes, even if it gets me out of my comfort zone, which your comfort zone is that vicious cycle. Like that's comfortable, and that's why we do it. It's familiar. And so if you can just switch right out of and just get like that 8 or 10 inch different perspective, everything is possible. And I was thinking about one of my clients who was actually in the program last summer, and it's so quick that you can start to be present and start to have fun and at the same time clear the clutter. So once you get unstuck, like it's just like that perspective shift, like lifting the bed, and then all of a sudden you see everything differently, and it happens so quickly. And so for that client, she was able to have like the best summer that she and her kids had, like going to the beach and going to the pool before giving a party, and like so many things that previously were not possible, she was able to do. And it is that like the element of having a guide who can shift your perspective. And so if you're able to get that, however you need to get that, that's what I'm good at, and that's why I talk about it. But just to be able to see things differently, and then you can take different action, and then you can enjoy being in the moment. You can be more relaxed. And like what one of my clients too said, that she was more pleasant to be around. And so when you get unblocked, and so some of the blocks, so what are the things we say? We're like avoiding, and we think like, oh, I don't have the time for this. Like I'm busy with this, I'm busy with this other thing, or I'm sentimental. Like I don't know how to let go. I'm just a sentimental person. Or I don't like to waste, the environment's really important to me. And so then just having piles at home keeps you in that cycle and keeps the piles. And so that right there, that like identity that you've connected with, that's where part of that perspective shift comes in. And so in the program, I don't know what it's called, but it kind of feels like bending time, where you're like, oh wait, okay, when I get my priorities like straightened, I do have the time for the things that are the most important. And I can like make time. And the interesting thing too is that the process of decluttering can be joyful. And there's like resistance. You're like, okay, now she's talking about the crazy part of, but part of what's important is feeling capable and confident and having fun while you're decluttering. And so that's part of just the magic that I support people with, is figuring out for them, how can you make it fun? How can you shift your perspective of avoiding it and making it you feel bad to something that helps you feel empowered and helps you. One of my clients, a new client, was saying how I'm excited to clear the clutter. No, she didn't say excited. She said, I'm looking forward to it. And it's like, maybe it's like running or eating healthy, where it's like, oh, it's not exactly what I want to be doing, but I know the return on the investment of that time and energy is going to come back to me. Like, I'm going to feel this lightness. I'm going to feel capable and confident and feel better about myself. And so then I'm not blaming others or yelling or feeling frustrated about other people, because I have agency and I'm taking the action. I know those steps I need to take. I'm taking them, and being in action and having that clarity can really get rid of overwhelm pretty quickly. That's definitely something that all of my clients get out of overwhelm because of what we do. But a big part of that is perspective. And when you're thinking like, oh, this vicious cycle that I'm in of procrastination and overwhelm, and this is hard and I'm not capable, and just like getting to that like, like can't have fun, can't have, my joy is being stolen from my life, like that kind of energy and mode to be in keeps you there. And so when you can step out and be like, oh, okay, I am capable of this. Okay, like let me take the next step. Let me take one little next step, and that you can bring back the joy into the moment, into those steps. And so, so like I was saying, just having that vision or the big why, having your individualized plan, and then having, okay, so Amy's having a comment. In my mind, this is the number one reason to do this, to make space to become more present and to live the life we are meant to live. Decluttering is great, but it's the unexpected side effects that are the real bonus. So what she's talking about is so good, because there's like another distinction here, that when you declutter with the intention of, what's the intention of living your life, like those side effects don't happen on their own. Like I think there's this like conception that, oh, when I clear the clutter, then I'm going to be happy, then I'm going to be more connected, then I'm going to be more relaxed. And so what I help people do is bring that intention in and consciously decide, as you're going through your stuff, how to become that person. Does that make sense? So just clearing the clutter. So if you think of, there's a lot of people that live clutter-free, but they are not happier than you are. They are not more connected with their family. They are not enjoying the present moment. So I think this is an important distinction, because if you were able to just clear the clutter and then find, oh, I'm still yelling at my kids, I'm still XYZ having my joy stolen from me, but it wasn't the clutter. So the clutter can be a symptom that I like to help people use to become intentional about what is the life that you want to live, who do you want to be, and let's get you there through decluttering. So thank you, Amy, for bringing that up, like becoming more present. Like you could read a book, like I was saying, there's millions of books on decluttering and all those things, and books on being present. But so what we do with that guide and accountability is intentionally, as you're clearing the clutter and becoming capable, confident, connected in the moment, you become that person in through this challenge. Does that make sense? Are people on understanding what I'm saying? Yay, so many people watching. I'm excited about this and continuing the conversation for sure. And I'd love to know what ideas you want support with. Sound like someone was talking about paper, and that's definitely a good topic for another time. And then also, let's see. Okay, so what happens when you're able to unblock, like when you bend time and you're like, actually, I do have time for the things that are important to me. Okay, I am capable. I know exactly where to start with the clutter and know like what I'm doing next. And I'm enjoying the process of decluttering, but I'm also enjoying my life. I'm more pleasant to be around. I'm having more fun. We're actually going to the beach or being on time. And if you've seen the interview with Kristen that I did recently, something interesting happened with her where she was able to, she was giving one of her sons a birthday party, and she was able to be prepared like the week before. And so she switched from being someone who's like always kind of like behind and like stressing of like, okay, I have to do this, and now like giving a party, if you've given a party and it's like, like I have to do this and that and all these things that take you out of the being in the moment. And sorry, got distracted. I think Lisa was trying to get on the video, but I don't think you meant to do that. So what happened for her is that she started to be the kind of person who's prepared and able to enjoy like that morning of the party, hanging out with her mom, relaxing, enjoying the moment at a birthday party for her son. It became her new normal. And so she had forgotten she used to be the kind of person who was like stressing and behind and having that sort of anxiety and not complete and putting things off and avoiding and putting it for later. So then you're out, it takes you out of the moment when you're doing that. And so she just became someone who was like prepared week before. How's everything set? Birthday presents were wrapped. She was like celebrating, telling us like how great that was. And then it became her new normal. And so then every party she's giving, she's able to like go to the pool before or just be there and be relaxed. And so that's really exciting that you could forget about how you used to be this kind of person who's rushing around and feeling behind and feeling like a failure and feeling like you don't know how to deal with the piles, to stepping into someone who is capable, confident, and connected in the moment. I see Shirley made a comment. I find that it calms my mind when I have less clutter, therefore I'm more relaxed and not stressed with family interruptions. Yeah, so there is definitely that when you clear the clutter, you can be more calm. And so some people can clear the clutter without support. That's great for them. I wasn't one of those people. I needed support. I definitely hired help to get through my papers specifically. And now I definitely am like in the new house and thinking like, what help do I need to get to the level that I want to? And so, what was I going to say? Yeah. Thank you for joining for this. This is exciting to have people really participating. And I know, so yeah, that's what I was saying, that some people can like clear things without any help. But if you're the kind of person who's like, oh, hi, Julie. If you are the kind of person who it's been years where you're like, okay, this summer, I'm going to clear the clutter. Or, you've been struggling with for a long time. And you recognize like, okay, I haven't done this on my own. I haven't done this with a therapist. I haven't done this by reading a book. I haven't done this with an online course. I haven't done this with a professional organizer that's done like some piece of it. And understanding that there's like this mindset. So you need that lift. Like I was talking about that story about my bed and just how I'm able to help people shift their perspective And so they understand, like, yes, I care about the environment, and I have this other goal that I want to be more present with my kids. I have this other goal. And so then you find a way, like I help people find their path to unblock what's blocking them, and to use the clutter clearing as I don't know, I would say healing or something, but it's intentionally stepping into your best self. The comment that Amy made earlier, that I talked about, that's definitely what's possible when you do get the support. And so, yay! Thanks for being here. And I definitely, what I help people do is clear the clutter with intention. It can happen very fast. And the secret too is that you don't have to wait until summer to start enjoying your life and being present now and enjoying the decluttering process and having fun with it. And if you've been struggling with it for a while and you've done all those remedies and tried this and that and all these things, and you're still feeling lack of presence, you're still wondering, how do I start, even though you're like started, and like you've done all the things and you still haven't had the traction, you still don't have the life that you want. You're still like in the piles and the overwhelm and the procrastination, then definitely reach out. And my team and I have set aside some time to just talk to you and find out, where are you? What's happening in your life? How long have you been struggling with this? And are you at that place where you're like, yes, raise my hand, I want to like clear the clutter by summer and overwhelm, clear it all by summer? Yes. And I'm watching you share your ideas about how what I need is a vision, an individualized plan, accountability. And I'm so committed to clearing it and living life now, and to stop having my joy stolen, that I'm going to get brave and I'm going to get on the phone with someone and talk about where I am and see, like, can we help you or not? It's not, we only work with exactly the right people that we know 110% your life is going to be improved, and you're going to just be like that next level that you're going for, of freedom, of capability, of confidence, connected in the moment. What's possible for you when you clear the clutter, all those things that you were mentioning, yes, that is what happens for my clients, and even more. So book a call. I'll put a link below, and it'll be a short, I think a 30-minute conversation. Oh, I'm sliding down. And we'll see where you are, where you want to go. And if we're 110% confident that we can help you get there, then we'll talk about what that looks like. And if not, we'll provide you with resources to get you to the next level in another way. So I'll put the link below. And I really look forward to talking to you and seeing where you are, where you want to go, and if I can help you get there, because what I know is on the other side, and these celebration calls that I do with my clients, and some of them are posted, but not all of them are. Some people, it's so private, and so much shifts to be able to be a more pleasant person to be around, to be having more fun, like enjoying parties that you're giving for your family, and like having a summer where you are relaxed and you are going for bike rides and not having this heavy weight like on the back of your mind of like I still haven't figured that out. I'm a super intelligent woman, I'm educated, I've done these things in my career, and still my home isn't how I want it to be. And having that overwhelm and anxiety that's stealing the joy from your life, like, it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. And like I was saying, if you're that person that's like raising your hand and you're listening and you're like, yes, something is telling me to reach out, then yeah, do it. And it's going to be a transformative conversation either way. Either way, if you're getting the support from us or somewhere else, but having that reflective guide is the next step on that journey of commitment of like, yes, clearing the clutter. Oh, yes, thank you, Kelly, for posting. That's the client transformation. So Kelly just posted where you can see some of these women that I've mentioned, where they share their interviews. And there's one that's like a 10-minute clip from the Women of 2020 that is so powerful. And to think like in the middle of chaos, in the middle of a lot of uncertainty and challenges, that you can step into your best self, that you can have clarity about how to clear the clutter, that you can connect with other women on the same journey. I think that's what I have actually one of my employees was saying the biggest transformation that happened for her, because when you work with me, then you get to do the program too. And so she didn't even think she had a problem with clutter, but she realized like she had the same really similar motherhood challenges, that she really was able to have transformation by doing the program with us. And to see that you're on the same path and you're on this in the same struggle as other women is so powerful. And to see that like, oh, I'm not the only intelligent woman that's can't figure out like, what do I do with the paperwork? How do I deal with these piles? How can I get my kids to participate more? How can I get my family on the same page? Oh, that's definitely a conversation I want to have, is like getting family on the same page, getting them on board versus same page. So maybe that's for next week. Comment below if you want to hear about the family on board conversation. Yeah. And so, like I was saying, I was inviting you to book a call. And if you're feeling in your heart like, oh, yes, I'm just raising my hand, I want clutter clear, I want to use the clutter clearing process intentionally to live with more freedom and confidence and self-love, worthiness, and those Mary saying yes to something, yes, yes, is a good, I mean, just to have that inspiration and support to reach new level of what's possible for you and your family. And I just love doing it. And so I love to have those conversations with people to see, are you like fully yes, and you're gonna have support to get out of your pattern of procrastination and anxiety and overwhelm and clutter, the vicious cycle, to just step out of that and see what's possible when you can step out of it. Basically everything is possible. All the things that you were mentioning, better relationship with your husband, better relationship with your kids, being more relaxed and happier, enjoying the present moment, like all those things become possible when you intentionally clear clutter in this way. And yeah, so the link, I'll post the link. I forget what it is. So yeah, I think it's Creating Calm Coach. No, I'm not going to say the wrong thing. So I'll post the link, and you can check out the link that Kelly posted there with that 10-minute video. And then there's a bunch of longer ones where people just share about how they did, like all of those things became possible for them because they decluttered with intention and with support, and they got like what they needed. I can hear my daughter's playing music, so I'm going to go play with her. But I am so glad that you're here, and I definitely, the more you're commenting and letting me know what topics you want to talk about, the more fun we're going to have with this whole topic. And that's what we need to bring. We need to bring fun and magic, and definitely book a call. And thank you so much for being here. Yay. Until next week.